What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Today I'm going to be summoning on the Mythic Hresvelgr Banner. The color sharing is definitely a bit unfortunate. It could have been a bit better. I mean, Veil is still good because of her drive scowl, but because of that I was really not expecting her to show up. I'm going to be summoning on the full circles because I want to get to the spark, and I do not mind getting any kind of Hraesvelg or Korin whatsoever. And there's also a tuned Erica providing big value, so green is like the main star of the banner, even though Hresvelgr is blue. I really like Hresvelgr's design, definitely my favorite out of this book. Actually, probably a tie between her and Ecthenir. Not the biggest fan of snakes or Hraesvelg, and I guess Larather is fine, but it should be obvious. I mean, my fascination with birds with my username, so I would obviously like Hresvelgr. I just wish that they had the realistic transformation sprites, like the bee sprites of these OCs, similar to the Teleus Lagoose units. Not the biggest fan of the bright colored sprites, especially on Hresvelgr and Hraesvelgr. It just looks really odd. Ecthenir probably looks the best. All things considered, even Ratatoskr is not that bad. Hopefully she can show up here on the blue stones. It's been a while since I've had a luck like that, where I just got the focus unit early on my main account. And I really want to get her and test her damage output. It should be ridiculous because of the condition that she has got in her weapon, because of the bonus and negative status effects on the enemies. And in the light season there's no Freyr. I mean, people used to run out of season Freyr, but now it's out of season Hraesvelg, I'm seeing. So you cannot really stop all of the debuffs and such. That's probably her best part. That is going to be aging well as a combat mythic. I don't really tank much, so I don't care about the cleansing all that much, to be fair. Ecthenir is actually returning really fast in December because they ran out of colorless units. There's going to be Brave Female Robin in December, and Ecthenir, and probably a new book OC who's going to be color sharing. And then we could get an Emblem, or maybe a legendary unit color sharing with Emblem Sigurd. So it's been a while since they have run out of units on a certain color. They used to do that back in the old days where they would not have these kinds of balanced banners. I'm gonna get Mikoto here, the first Canto control that lasted for a month. But still, she's one of the healers who got her refine, which cannot be said for so many of the units. So that's the first 5-star unit. Edward showing up. I definitely do not mind getting him, as he's the best out of the red pool. I mean, it's not a high bar. So let us begin with the questions that you guys have left. As always, if you want me to answer any kind of question, any summoning video, you could leave them in the comments with the hashtag question. The hashtag is very important so that I can find your question. The first question is by Zach984 Racer, and they're asking me if they ever decided to give older seasonal units the perfect weapons that they deserved, who would you be most excited for after Summer Mercedes? Yeah, they already accepted that I would take her name, but if I had to pick an older seasonal, I would probably pick Winter Lissa. Like, she was such a fun unit. When we got the Christmas banner, I still remember. Her speed was at a point where you could make her work out as a fast unit at that time. There was, of course, Winter Male Robin as well. But I really like Lissa, and I got a bunch of copies of her back in those days. So I would probably pick her as the old seasonal unit. This could be the question of the day. So if Faye decided to give the preferred weapons to old seasonals that don't have one, who would you pick? Back then, like, we just had funny weapons. We didn't really have that many preferred weapons, but suddenly in book 4 onwards, like, we started to speed up the preferred weapons on these seasonal units. And now if you actually look at the refine timeline for these seasonal units, is so slow because there's just so many units with preferred weapons that are in the queue of getting a refine. Right? Camilla showing up, maybe she can tell legendary male Corrin to show up. It's definitely a bit of shame that he's not all that powerful for a modern unit. But still, his fodder is really valuable for Arena. So far, no Fallen Ursula. I wouldn't mind getting her either for the Verge of Death. They gotta release an updated version of Fury. Like, come on, Fury is used so much in Aetheraids offense for the Gale Force strats. How are you not gonna be releasing that when you have released Crystalline Water? And let's be honest, the Solid Ground variant is probably gonna be getting that last. Like, there are so few units who want to stack up their attack and defense. I mean, Emblem Seeker is one of them, who's a recent unit. But still, even without it, he just hits so hard. I would really like an updated Fury skill that cleanses all of your stats and protects you against panic. Though they're probably not gonna be doing that. Okay, Ectonir showing up here. Amazing. He's so fun. Minus attack, unfortunately. So, not a lot of fun for me. And he also got better because of the fact that we got Emblem Seeker Ring. And a slow unit like him would be such a magnet for the stalled status. But because of his cleansing, he's just able to be consistently be a 4-movement Cavalier. Another Mikoto. Everyone wants to show up except for Corrin. Minus attack, okay. Stronghold is actually even less useful than like Verge of Death. Crystalline Water is probably more useful. I do like Verge of Death though on AoE nukes. But Stronghold, there are not a lot of units that would want it. I mean, Marnie is probably the biggest example. Alright, Soleil showing up as well. I think I'm gonna be getting the entire Fates roster before Corrin. Unfortunately, I'm pretty close to the Spark though, so I should be able to just get Hresvelgr. And next month, there's gonna be Larather, who can inflict the assigned decoy status on your lowest defense, ranged and melee unit. Now, assigned decoy is not a negative status. It cannot be cleansed. It is a positive status, and you cannot get rid of it unless the enemy decides to be nice and use something like Duo Thor, or use Mythic Loki to erase that, or use Tina to steal that, but probably not going to be doing that. And that's why I think that mechanically, he has to be Anima Mythic if they have to make him a Mythic. I would not like him to be a Mythic though. He's gonna be so annoying, and I think Anima gets way too many good units. Like, way too often. Like Freyr and, you know, Hathrin this year, and even before that, like Fomortis is still arguably really good and got a new lease of life with Shield Fighter. There's like Mirabilis, who's an actually good dancer compared to Triandra. So I feel like Anima just gets a lot of good stuff compared to Dark, which is like so hard to make any kind of mythic useful. Like even Emblem notes just do not really help much in the combat. And even Mythic Loki is nowhere near the level of like Hathrin or Freyr. So I would just wish they would make Larather as an Earth legendary unit. I mean, he's a tree man. Earth would make sense, but it's probably gonna be Anima at this point. And Nidhogger definitely seems like a dark mythic. they gotta give the Fomortis equivalent in the Dark Season. Alright, so time for the Spark. Unfortunately, I did not get a lot of good stuff, but I did get Ectonir, and I guess Edward, which is something for Breath of Life. Unfortunately, no Hathrin or even Corrin, so let's go for Hresvelgr. Let's summon her. Her design is just so amazing. And I really like her voice acting. Just wish her bee sprite was actually an eagle or a hawk. Actually, Hresvelgr is supposed to be eagle. Canonically, I suppose. Okay, so let's summon on this biggest bait banner because in like 7 days we're gonna be getting the Illusia banner run where you can actually spark and use your tickets. So not sure what they're doing with this. Maybe they're thinking that people might forget it. They almost have an Illusia banner, but you can already spark on this even with Fey Pass. Let's go for Happy. Out of the Ashen Worlds, Happy probably aged the best. Constance just needs like Arcane Blood Gang. Yuri is just not that good anymore. Even with his foul play, it just doesn't really mean much nowadays. And Happy can still new card with her weapon. So in the long run, she kind of won. Like her nuking power isn't really all that bad, like you would expect an old unit like her. I would like a Din. Lapis, okay. Still no Caspar though, as the demote unit. And from here, I think I would probably want to get Marita. I just ended up merging all of my Ascended Maritas because Vital Astra is like worth nothing now with Gust and Lagu's friend. So there was no point. The next question is asking me, in your opinion, what is the best build for the Summoner? So Summoner can be used in Mjolnir Strike and Hero's Journey, two exceptionally easy game modes. Even though Summoner has got such bad stats, you could still easily auto-battle these kinds of game modes. I mean, Mjolnir Strike is going to be taking a bit of attention because some modern units can show up and they can just nuke you. So there are three main builds that I would recommend for the Summoner. It obviously depends on the units that you've summoned. I got a plus attack for Bale, okay. So the first one is the Freethinker build with Lagu's friend and Breath of Life. And because the Summoner has got not that high of a defense, you gotta make use of the Distant Bonus Doubler and also Bonus Doubler Sacred Seal. There's null counter Disrupt Echo, so you could pick off the healers easily. And Arcane Thrima is the best weapon out of Arcane Lewin, Arcane Devourer, Arcane Xiang, all of that. And it can also debuff the enemies, so it does have a supportive aspect, which a lot of the like offensive arcane weapons don't really have. So that's the go-to build in my opinion, and that does well consistently. And then there's the good old AoE build, another Freethinker build. So you could use Arcane Blood Gang or Arcane Euphoria. Being a ranged AoE nuke is always helpful. If you've got stuff like Pulse Up Blades, then it makes it really easy. And then you just kill the units in Mjolnir Strike with a Dancer and easily get the 5 kills for the quest. And then there is the there's the bootleg Felix build, as I like to call it. So Felix is a unit that most people are going to be having. He's a Chooser Legends 8 unit, was available with Spark and free summon, so you could just run Endless Tempest, get the attack speed excel, and because Summoner is not fast, Potent could be something that you could try and use, and this can work out pretty nicely in Hero's Journey. So those are my 3 Summoner recommendation builds. At some point I was actually going to be making a video on it, but I realized it would get outdated so fast, and there's like so many permutations of builds that you could run, but these 3 are pretty much like I said, the free thinker builds, which are going to be working without any kind of hiccup. Now let's go to my free-to-play account, and here I have saved up 127 free-to-play orbs. I am saving up for an Emblem hero in December, if it ends up being that. For it to be an Emblem hero, it has to be probably Legendary Larother. Like I was, speculating. Then they would have the rotation, but I mean, they could break the patterns anytime. So 127 free-to-play orbs. Emblem Celica completely ripped me off. I was not able to get her, even after spending like close to 1,200 orbs on like this free-to-play account. So I'm gonna be trying for her again in January, which is so annoying, but at least she's gonna be color sharing with Attune Temera, I hope. So that's at least gonna be less painful if the fate decides to repeat itself. From here, I would probably want to have... Yeah, I don't really have Yunaka. Kind of crazy how Yunaka just fell off as a nuke. I would probably want to have, like, Sharina for Gale Force. Absolutely. Oh, I'm gonna get Sylvain. That's fine too. He's actually pretty nice with his extraction. Alright, got free Sylvain. I'll take it. Minus speed, of course. Okay. He does have no quarter and Clash and the Neotrace, which doesn't really mean much now because we've got Emblem Seagate Ring. Alright, pretty happy that I actually got a free 5-star unit out of that. Okay. The next question is asking me, what character did you forget was in the game? I personally forgot about Clive. Yeah, so this was actually upvoted many times. For me, it probably has to be... I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but like Tobin. I forgot Tobin was in the game. It's kind of similar to Clive, where both of them were given out as like the Tempest Trial reward in those times. And I mean, I remember using Tobin with his Armor Slayer, Triangle Adept, Axebreaker build in the Surtur days. But after that, I don't think I used him. And I just forgot about him. It's probably him. And if I had to pick more of a modern unit, I'll probably say Brattle Seri. Like, I like Seri, but Brattle Seri was just so unimpressive. The weapon, even on debut, was not as good as Arcane Xiang, I believe, which was the only option at that time. And I've literally never seen like a single person use her, and I've actually faced so many obscure units. So yeah, probably Brattle Seri. Really forgettable unit. Alright, from here, I would really like to get Ascended Joshua, because I don't think I have him. Okay, Lorum, she's also another unit you'll forget, but I would argue that because Bride Lorum exists, and she's the only free-to-play Binding Blade Dancer, by proxy, you kind of remember the original one's existence. But before her Bridal ult, there would be so many people wondering who's the one hero missing from their hero catalog, because she would not appear in the story mode. Probably no one would be using her because we had Tethys with much superior resistance and who could just make use of the Temari dagger. So she was definitely one of them. Alright, a lot of greenstones. Wouldn't have minded getting Rinka. She actually got such a good weapon refine. They just gave her all of the effects that they usually give to these Axe units. I'm gonna try for Happy. Nope. Alright, and... oops. Here's the bait banner. I got so many attuned IVs while trying to get Emblem Celica. So I guess I wouldn't mind getting another copy. I mean, I like Ivy a lot from Engage. Probably my favorite Engage character. But still, it was painful not getting Celica. And now let's do the free summon. I'm probably going to be aiming for, I was going to be aiming for Colorless anyways for Ecthenir. And if I get extra Legendary Lilier, then I fodder him to my newer female Kana. So I'm definitely taking the 12 o'clock Colorless Stone in hopes of Ecthenir. Brave Lyn, okay. This is a free-to-play account, and I've already got a plus 10 Brave Lyn. Just look at this, and look at the amount of copies I've got. I just keep getting her from the arena free summon. She's already at plus in merge. I need to give her a better build, probably Golden Yield Bow. And then there's these 2 extra copies. She has no fodder whatsoever. So I hope I could stop getting Brave Lyn. So those are my free summons. Got Sylvain, got Lorem, plus Speed Ivy, and Brave Lyn. Really happy about Sylvain. So hopefully I can store up some luck for the time in need on the free-to-play account. So let me know in the comments how your summons went, and you can click the link on the screen right now to check out my breakdown of the Hresvelgr banner and also my light mythic tier list and the best builds for all of the light mythics. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Emblem Celica on my free-to-play account. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.